Hey guys, we're back. It's me, Corey, again, and I'm just talking about this issue of answered prayer, the power of answered prayer, the simplicity, the power, the intimacy of living in communion with your Father and watching the fruit of God bear out. I love that parable in John 15. It's because he says, I'm the vine, you're the branches. Now the branches don't have any life in itself. The only reason that the branches have life is because of its connection to the vine. And as we consciously, by fellowshipping with the Spirit, reading of the Word, living before Him, as we abide in Him, what happens is that sap off the vine begins to pump through the branches and the fruit of Christ begins to break out of our lives. You know, some of the greatest fruit is the power of answered prayer. Watching it be a witness to all of those around you saying, my God, here's my prayers, and He answers. And I just want to talk even more about this. I was even looking at a couple of passages. We've been talking about the power of asking. I mean, Psalm 2, a very familiar, famous passage. Jesus is enthroned as the king on Zion. And I love this. The Father, David gets to overhear a conversation between the Father and the Son, which is pretty awesome. And the Father declares to the Son, He goes, I will declare the decree, you are my Son, today I've begotten you. Here it is. Ask of me, and I will give you the nations for your inheritance. Jesus is the worthy one. All things have been given to Him, yet the Father is going to release His inheritance in conjunction and in connection with the Son, asking the Father for the nations. He says, Father, that's my inheritance. And the Father says, yes, it is. Ask for it, and I'll give it to you. Why asking? I mean, we looked at those passages on asking. I'm looking at 1 John 3 this morning. It says, whatever we ask, we receive from Him because we keep His commandments and do those things which are pleasing in His sight. What's the issue of asking? I believe it's because God has used asking to connect our hearts into intimacy with Him. Something happens when we begin to vocalize the longings of our heart, the desires of our heart, and we begin to ask God for things, saying, God, we don't have. You are the provider. You are the sustainer. You are the keeper. And by vocalizing my prayers, Father, I ask you for the inbreaking of wisdom. I ask you for the release of patience. I ask you for the revelation of light. When we ask Him, it connects our hearts to Him, and we begin to enjoy the power of intimacy with Him. It's that abiding reality, and then God answers the prayer, and fruit breaks out, and God receives glory. That's how it works. It's about God using promises to bring us into intimacy with His heart. 2 Peter 1 says that we've been given exceedingly great and precious promises. I love this. So that through these promises, we might become partakers of the divine nature. God uses promises to call us into partaking of intimacy with the divine nature. Intimacy with God. I just want you to begin to ask God, oh God, teach me about asking. I've got to vocalize it. He didn't say, wish and I'll give you the nations. Blink and I'll give you the nations, but ask and I'll give you the nations. And it's that power that separates us. We receive. This is so powerful. I want to keep talking about this, and I want to keep building on this issue of who do you think you're talking to. One of my favorite chapters or favorite verses on the power of God and of answered prayer is 1 John 5:14. It says, this is the confidence. And if I'm going to sum up prayer and the Christian life into one word, it's called confidence. This is the confidence that we have in Him. That if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us. And if we know that He hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we've asked of Him. Here it is. I want you to begin to meditate on the word confidence. At the end of the day, this is when I think of confidence, I think of what is your attitude when you come to your front door. Do you ring the doorbell? Do you try to beat down the door? Or do you walk right through the door? Now, what gives you that confidence? What gives you that inner peace, that inner boldness to know that the cops aren't going to come, that an alarm isn't going to go off, or that people are going to say, get out of here? Why? It's because it's your house. Beloved, this needs to be the posture of every true child of God, is that when we come into the presence of God, we're entering into that which is ours. And we come with confidence. The rest, the peace of knowing that which is ours. And I love this, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us. Beloved, it's as we get filled with the revelation of the things that burn on His heart that we know that He hears us. And when we know that He hears us, we know that He's answering our prayers. I want to take one more session to kind of talk a little bit more about this, about the God who hears you. I want to break down the revelation of your Father and the revelation of who you are to your Father. Because, beloved, He is the God who hears you. And not only does He hear you, He acts on behalf of those who wait for you. I bless you, and I'll see you soon.